Comedy duos have been a mainstay of the entertainment industry since the 40s. On any given evening back in the day, you could flip on the tube and see the likes of Abbott and Costello meeting up Frankenstein, or the ragtag team Laurel and Hardy accidentally stumbling upon a horde of German spies. But for smart-alecks, or really just about anyone with a crush on actress Dorothy Lamour, there was only one comedy team that really mattered: Crosby and Hope. From 1940 to 62, Bing Crosby and Bob Hope banded together to star in 7 Road to films, including hits like Road to Singapore, Road to Zanzibar, and Road to Utopia, which were all met with enthusiastic reviews and broke box office records. Even to this day, the beloved franchise is remembered as being curiously modern and for being the spiritual grandfather of meta-comedy. Crosby and Hope were adored by what's been called the greatest generation. They were more than just media personalities. They were cultural heroes. It's a shame there was nothing delightful or whimsical about either of those men in their lives off the set and stage. From nobodies to superstars. Crosby and Hope were born weeks apart in 1903, but were both on different paths when they first joined hands to form their legendary comedy team. Crosby had aspirations of becoming a successful singer and actor, but his career was sitting at a standstill while he was trying to figure out his next move. Hope, on the other hand, was a rising comedy star, just starting to hit his groove. The duo got their first chance to work alongside each other on stage at New York's Capitol Theater in 1932. But it wouldn't be until they showed off their material in front of a Paramount exec 6 years later that their first film together, Road to Singapore, was given the green light. It was such a massive hit, it was given 4 sequels: Road to Zanzibar, Road to Morocco, Road to Utopia, and Road to Rio, which all hit theaters in the 40s. While Paramount was busy coming up with new exotic locations for its wildly popular comedy team, Hope was busy chasing after women who weren't his wife, Dolores. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. And don't go anywhere. Stick around to find out what Crosby's own son had to say about his father. Hope's many mistresses. Hope's lifelong obsession with chorus girls was an open Hollywood secret. In a hard-hitting critical biography of his life, Groucho Marx's son Arthur asserted Bob Hope made love to more beautiful women in his lifetime than Errol Flynn, Arthur's apparently studly Uncle Chico, and Bing Crosby combined. Some of the women he would bed were girlfriends like Marilyn Maxwell, who was in his presence so often, folks started referring to her as Mrs. Hope. A lot of his other sexual exploits were just one-night stands. But Hope's publicity team had one major mandate to contend with. They had to do everything in their power to keep everyone happy, paid off, and out of the press. And that wasn't easy. Hope shied away from sharing the intimate details of his many affairs, but he still spoke freely about his backward views towards women. In late 1970, NBC aired a shocking hour-long special called Bob Hope Looks at Women's Lib, and in it, a female network chief can be seen dusting off the furniture before canceling the Indianapolis 500. And that's precisely how Hope envisioned a woman in power to behave, impulsively and irrationally. Hope also shared some of his misogynistic views during the 1970 Miss World beauty pageant. He kicked off the evening by comparing women to cows, but he took things to a whole new level when he got downright hateful after feminist protesters threw stink bombs in the middle of the event. He told the media later that evening that, quote, pretty women don't involve themselves in the women's liberation movement because they don't have those kinds of problems. Hope alienated his supporters with his political views. Around this same time, members of the press started quizzing Hope about his stance on the Vietnam War. Hope had performed USO shows for nearly half a century, so it came as no surprise to anyone when he toured Vietnam. But he quickly polarized his military audience after espousing his friend Richard Nixon's foolproof plan to come out of the war victorious. The soldiers responded to his tone-deaf assessment by booing him. He lost even more of his younger fans when he came back to the States and proceeded to serve as Nixon's mouthpiece. An 8th and final Road to film was planned shortly after Hope's cringeworthy sexist comments. Road to the Fountain of Youth, as it was going to be called, already had a script and producer. The film never ended up making it to production, though, because Crosby died of a heart attack before it could. Crosby wasn't without blame either. In 1983, Crosby's son Gary published a tell-all memoir, Going My Own Way. That book made the claim that Bing was an emotionally and physically abusive monster who slapped insulting names on his kids like Satchel Ass and Bucket Butt. Gary admits he had a unique physique when he was a child, and that used to annoy the hell out of his dad, who would beat him senselessly using whatever he could find, from belts to canes to planks. Bing used to scheme up all the fun new ways he could think of to humiliate his boys for forgetting to do their chores. If one of them so much as left their underwear on the floor, they'd have to wear it around their neck for the remainder of the evening. Bing even coined his own term to describe this dehumanizing punishment, the Crosby lavalier. Gary's siblings had different reactions to their brother's book, but even the volume's most outspoken critic, Philip, confirmed his father routinely used corporal punishment to keep his children in line. Crosby also got around more than he should have. Like his buddy Bob Hope, Bing had a penchant for infidelity. He openly slept around, and everyone in his orbit seemed to encourage it. His friends would even gossip openly about his affairs, with little regard of the fact his kids could overhear everything. After his death, Crosby's legacy began to crumble rapidly, but Hope was still alive and kicking, and seemed pretty content to continue swinging his metaphorical sledgehammer around. In the 80s, he pumped the gas on his homophobic rhetoric by making an insensitive AIDS joke about the Statue of Liberty. Later on, he dropped a wildly offensive gay slur while a guest on The Tonight Show. GLAAD did eventually receive an apology from him for that latter incident, but by that time, Hope had already thoroughly established himself as an aging, crotchety, out-of-touch bigot. Not that that really mattered all that much to his devoted fans. Hope was still given his own gallery at the Library of Congress just a couple years later. Hope lived past his barbarous buddy Bing Crosby. He passed away July 27, 2003, at the age of 100. Before he died, he admitted he was, quote, no angel, and that in his life he knew very few angels, so at least he wasn't completely out of touch. Now it's time to hear from you. Which half of this comedy duo did you find to be the wittiest, Hope or Crosby? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.